All right. This is different for me because I usually just stand here and talk about what I do. But last night, about 10 o'clock at night, I said, I got to do something different. So I just started going through my computer and getting a bunch of pictures out of things that I've done. And I don't know how to put them together. So I just emailed them all to Ben. I said, Ben, can you help me with this? So we'll see what happens. Okay, I was born in 1950, long time ago. Grew up in Southern California, went to school, was unremarkable as a student, and didn't know what I was going to do when I got out of high school. I decided to enlist in the military. The slogan on the wall said, join the Navy, see the world. And man, did that happen. I joined the Navy, I was 18 years old, and went to dive school, deep sea dive school with the Navy, worked nuclear submarines. A lot of my work was search, reconnaissance, searching work, security work, some salvage work. We lifted a couple of tugboats out of the bay. 2 times we pulled pilots out of the ocean and salvaged their airplanes. I love this kind of work. It was so exciting to me. And when you're 19 years old, 20 years old, it's pretty heady stuff.
And that's you?
That's me. I'm 20. Yeah.
Well, you were a handsome young man.
Was. Going over the rail. I forgot who that was with me, my dive partner. I was a junior partner. Next one, going down in there. This is off North Africa. Pulled the Air Force. Well, the team before us pulled the pilot out of the water. We went down and salvaged the airplane. It was only in about, it was pretty shallow, about 120 feet. So it was pretty easy to do. I loved my job in the Navy. They asked me to stay in. They ask everyone to stay in because nobody wants to. But doing this, you get hazardous duty pay. And that builds your monthly salary all the way up to about $220 a month. So I was making the big bucks. But I was living in Spain, so it was easy to live. I got into woodworking because my dad was a cabinet maker. This is a wine rack. A contractor, Jeff Tanner in Costa Mesa. Anyway, he called me and said, I need a wine rack. I said, okay, I can do a wine rack. I said, what do you have in mind? I don't know. I said, can you draw me a picture? I just need some drawers at the bottom and some wine bottles at the top. Okay, so I drew a picture up. And one thing, because I sent all these pictures to Ben, they're all out of order. So the drawing for this, it will be at the end of the program.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway,
Understand that.
each one of those drawers will hold a case of wine. So you got 12 cases of wine at the bottom, 10 cases of wine at the top. And then he said, okay, it has to be waterproof because this is all going to be behind glass doors and it's going to be refrigerated. So, okay, great. Now you tell me. So anyway, the finish.
What kind of material do you use for that?
Pardon? There's a finish for it. The wood is white oak. Anyway, it took quite a while to do. This next one, customer came to me with some carved panels, 3 panels. And they said they want a room divider. They have a pool table in their house and they want a divider in front of it. And said, okay, I can take these carvings and make a divider for you. And it came out like that. I think there's another one. And it divides our pool room for their house. And these panels slide open.
That's cool. And
it worked out real well. I forgot, somewhere in Indonesia these panels came from. But some Armenian put them together and made them work. Okay, that's my dad. My dad taught me everything about woodworking. I learned from being in his shop when I was 9 years old, sanding cabinets. And he just taught me everything about it, except the business part. He was a piss poor businessman. He never made any money. And the first 20 years of my business, I followed in his footsteps. I didn't know how to run a business. And I worked my butt off and gave away my work until I took a course in the business of woodworking. Oh, okay, now I know something. And I was able to put it together. And then just recently, I meet my wife, and she's a CPA, and said, let me see your bid. Oh, this is not going to work. This can't be 15%. This has to be 25. This has to be 35%. And she taught me how to bid jobs, and now I'm making money, finally. There's a drawing I did. That was the third drawing that they finally approved. So that's what the client got to see of my wine rack. All right, this is something that you've probably seen on the internet. This is going to be one of the last pictures of my slide presentation. And this is something that inspires me. Something that looks complex that I want to try and do because I like doing different things. And one day I'm going to do this in a small scale, maybe about the size of this coffee maker, as a mock-up. And then if it works right and I can get the strength to hold everything, I'll make something bigger with a glass top on it. Simon, I might come to you and see if we can work on this, or you can tell me what to make. This is Pierre's job, or one of Pierre's jobs, and Sam and Kelly now provide wall paneling. Okay, this isn't wall paneling though. Well, it's wall paneling, but I made it all. I cut each one of those pieces and spaced them all out and put them in there by hand.
They got a program for that now.
Yeah, China, okay. Peter GEVORKIAN Cabinetry doesn't do China. Thank you.
Peter moved back in the
They wanted this paint grade, so this is poplar. It's a relatively inexpensive but kiln-dried hardwood, so it stays straight. It's all solid wood.
Painted it.
It's not vinyl. Doesn't have any styrofoam backing on it or anything. It's
all
all
wood. Is the
wood.
bottom cabinet, is that the finished color?
That's the finished color, the bottom cabinet.
Is that
Touch
painted?
latches, pardon?
Is that painted?
It's painted.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Right there's the painter.
Oh, cool.
Polytech.
Nice.
It's the new lacquers. That's what that is.
It floats off the floor, touch latches. They put stereo equipment in there, and I had to build a frame around the TV. There's a hole in the wall so they can have access to it. Pardon?
It used to be a fireplace.
It used to be a fireplace, that's right, there was bricks back there. Way to go, Pierre. This is a drawing of a Pullman cabinet that was very ornate. This lady took me into her house and she showed me the kind of woodwork she liked. There were scrolled moldings, moldings on top of moldings. It was hideous. I hate that kind of stuff. But that's what she wanted. So I came up with a drawing, and then I had to reproduce, hopefully, we'll see if the cabinet, nope, okay. We'll come back to the cabinet later. This is Paul McKelvey's house on Driftwood, overlooking the Montage in Laguna Beach. This kitchen has a spectacular view straight out to the ocean. It's a location. Wow, how'd you find that location? I don't know. But
So this looks like
it was
about Paul McKelvey's house when you were talking about
not his house.
Right?
No, his job.
project.
But it was a family thing. His wife sold the house too, so
Nice.
they had a pretty good.
Guys made us look good.
They had a pretty good
You touch the cabinets,
thing
you
there.
feel good.
On this job, I didn't have to design anything. Paul hands me a set of drawings. This is what we need. Okay, that's easy. That's easy when that's done. Built this kitchen out of poplar and maple because they were going to paint it. This is the primary bathroom. A couple of sinks. One of our stone guys, Jeff Hart, did all the tile, and it came out beautifully. And I had no part of the design though. Just putting it together. Easy stuff. This is that ornate cabinet. And then they ended up doing a faux finish on top of it. The lady was head over heels.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
The lady loved it. Well, this is exactly what I wanted. It's perfect. Okay. Sometimes you don't get a drawing or plan or anything, but sometimes a designer will hand you a picture of something to do. This is an inspiration photo of something to do. And it was by an interior designer we had in our BTN network. This is Joanna Barker did this project. and she hands me a picture. Can you do this? We have a house with a fireplace and we want 2 of these cabinets, one on each side of the fireplace. No, sure, I can do that. So this is the cabinet that I tried to reproduce. That's the finish. Cabinet makers don't often get to see the finished product. When we go onto a job site, we install the cabinets in the job site and then we leave. And then someone comes in and puts a stone countertop on it. And someone puts glass in the doors. And then a finisher comes in and puts the finishing touches on it. And maybe the interior decorator puts the handles on it, like the jewelry. And I'm long gone. So a lot of times I don't get to go back and see my finished product. And that's one thing that kind of bugs me a little bit about about being a cabinet maker. You don't often get to see it. And that's why I really like it when the homeowner invites everybody over after the job is done to see what their work looks like. This looks fantastic. Thank you for making it look beautiful, Aaron. What I do, I'm connected to my work. I feel very spiritual about my work. I enjoy every moment of it. I put all of my energy into what I do, and I work with my hands, and I can tell that the energy from my hands goes into that woodwork. And I believe in connectedness. We're all connected. We've been here at BTN for many years, some of us since 2010. You were here when I came. You're here even longer than I've been here. And I feel connected to everybody, but not just everybody. I feel connected to my clients because you guys bring me to them. So there's a reason that I'm supposed to meet them. This sounds a little weird, but I'm connected to the lumber that comes into my shop. I feel that whoever made all of this, there's a spark in me that's in everything else. In trees. Part of me is in trees, or part of the trees are in me. And I have this connected feeling. And I saw this picture on the internet and I had to put it up there.
Oh yeah.
Part of it's a tree.
Yeah.
And the other part of it's a fingerprint
Yeah, yeah.
from a human being. And it just, that encapsulates what I feel. I just feel a part of everything that I do, and I love it. And at 74, in 2 weeks, I'll be 74. At 74, I'm loving it even more and more than when I started it in 1979. And it's just growing and growing and growing. And I was at dinner last week with another couple, and this guy's gonna retire. He can't wait, he's 65, he's gonna retire. What are you gonna do? So I'm gonna play some golf and do some things around the house. God, I don't play golf, what am I gonna do? I love what I'm doing, so I'm gonna keep doing this. And that makes me keep doing it too, because that's part of me. It's just part of my thumbprint, part of my, what I leave here when I transition off. And thanks BTN, because this group is what made me get excited about what I do. When I first walked into BTN meeting, there was this buzz going on, and I didn't know if I wanted to be here because I didn't want to sit at a table and talk about business. I wanted to make cabinets instead. But everyone stood up and said who they were, and they were excited about what they did. Zach's a plumber. Who gets excited about being a plumber? Zach's excited about what he does. He loves it. And that lifts me up. That excites me to see that excitement. We got a painter here that's wired 24 hours a day, this guy. He's excited about what he does, and that lifts us all up. And everybody here lifts me up and makes me excited about what I do, and I'm so grateful for this lifetime, and I just love being part of this. And I love working with wood, so you got a project, a wood project, throw it my way, even if it's something weird like that scrambled tabletop. I'd like to give it a try. Thank you, BTN. Any questions? No? Okay.
Peter, if you haven't already, read The Alchemist.
The what?
The Alchemist. Yeah.
I've read
Alchemist?
The Alchemist.
That's a great book.
I have a story about The Alchemist.
Have you read that book?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's very
Uh,
much about that
My
kind too.
my late wife was an astrologer, an esoteric astrologer. She did people's charts, and she was into alchemy. And we went to this party, psychic fair type party, and every bedroom had a different person in there. One was a fortune teller, one lady read cards, another guy took had a camera, took your picture and had your aura around it, and by the color of your aura he could tell your path and all this. In the kitchen, my favorite room of the house, this gal comes and holds my hand, and she says, Peter, you come from a big family. I go, yeah, I do. And I never met this lady. And she's telling me things about my life. And she said, like you said, I want you to read this book, The Alchemist. Now I forgot the author, but he's from Brazil.
Or Coelho, yeah.
Yeah.
Paulo Coelho.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read the book from cover to cover in 2 nights.
Yeah.
Because it's a page turner.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And the reason it's a page turner for me is that Paulo Coelho lived in Spain. He was from Brazil, but he traveled in Spain and Morocco, and he went to the same towns that I did. And I walked in his steps, and I went to these villages, not after I read the book, before I read the book. I was in the same villages that he was in. And this lady knew that I would resonate to this book. And it was quite amazing. It gives me shivers
Yeah.
just talking about it right now. Thanks for mentioning
Yeah,
that
it's
book.
great. It's a
Cool.
simple read, but it has some really good messages.
It does have great messages in it. Yeah. So for all of us, keep doing what you're doing, because when you love it, it just means you're going to love the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that's going to make it easy, no matter what kind of difficulties come up. And we all have tragedy in our lives. We all have failures in our lives. But just keep going at it. You'll love it. And it makes life so much better. And Amjad, this guy here, Amjad, he loves life. I see him on the Facebook or the social media. He's always got a picture. He's at the tar pits. He's downtown LA at City Hall. He's at the library. Way to go, Amjad. All right, that's enough. Thank you.